Most people think their thoughts are their own, that their mindset just comes from within. But if you look closer, you'll realize something unsettling. You've been shaped quietly by people you didn't even notice. Your habits, your standards, the way you react to things, a lot of it was learned, absorbed, inherited. In the first book of Meditations, Marcus Aurelius doesn't talk about philosophy. He does something more honest. He looks back and acknowledges the people who made him who he was. This is where his philosophy begins, not with ideas, but with influence. And if you pay attention, you might start to see who shaped you too. From my grandfather, I learned something simple but rare: to stay calm, to be gentle, and not let anger take control. From the man who gave me life, I learned dignity, self-respect, and what it means to carry yourself like a man. From my mother, I learned kindness, generosity, and something deeper: to not even allow harmful intentions to take root in my mind. She taught me discipline too, to live simply, avoid excess, and not be corrupted by comfort or wealth. From my great-grandfather, I learned the value of education, to seek good teachers, and to never see learning as something too expensive. From the one who raised me, I learned not to get carried away by crowds, teams, or blind loyalties. Not in games, not in fights, not in life, to stay independent and not lose myself in collective passions. I learned to endure discomfort, to need less, to handle things myself, and to stay focused on what truly matters. And also, not to involve myself in everything, and not to believe rumors too easily. From Dionysius, I learned to ignore distractions, empty beliefs, and people who claim false powers, and not to be disturbed by other people speaking freely. He was the one who introduced me to philosophy and opened a path that would shape the rest of my life. He taught me to live simply, to appreciate the lifestyle of thinkers, and to question more than I accept. From Rusticus, I learned something harder to face: that my life needed correction, that I wasn't as disciplined or as clear as I could be, and that improvement starts with honesty. He kept me away from ego, from showing off knowledge, from trying to impress people with words. He taught me to be real, to speak simply, write clearly, and live without pretending. To forgive quickly, to listen deeply, and not to accept ideas without thinking for myself. And through him, I discovered the teachings of Epictetus, which stayed with me. From Apollonius, I learned what true strength looks like: not reacting emotionally, but staying steady, guided only by reason and what is right. Whether in pain, in loss, or in hardship, he remained the same man. He showed me that it's possible to be both intense and calm at the same time, to teach others without frustration, and to never overestimate your own abilities. And most importantly, he taught me how to accept kindness without becoming dependent, and how to stay balanced, even in gratitude. From Sixtus, I learned what kindness really looks like in action: a calm strength, and a way of leading with care, not control. He showed me how to live in alignment with nature, to be serious without trying to appear important, to understand people as they are, to be patient with ignorance, and not waste energy arguing with common opinions. He had a rare ability to adapt to anyone, in any situation, without ever losing himself. Being around him felt easy, but at the same time, you couldn't help but respect him. He lived without anger, without emotional excess, yet remained deeply human and compassionate. He was wise, but never felt the need to show it. From Alexander, I learned something subtle but powerful: not to correct people in a way that embarrasses them, not to point out mistakes just to feel superior, but instead to guide them quietly, by example, by response, by intelligence. Not to delay what matters, especially when it comes to people. From Fronto, I saw the reality of power, that behind authority, there is often envy, deception, and hidden agendas. And that status doesn't guarantee character, or even genuine human connection. From another Alexander, I learned not to hide behind the excuse of being busy, because saying I don't have time is often just avoiding what we should face. From Catullus, I learned to take friendships seriously, not to dismiss someone's frustration, even if it feels unfair, but to repair, to restore, and to speak well of those who taught me, and above all, to love deeply, especially those closest to me. From my brother Severus, I learned what it means to care, not just in words, but in presence. Through him, I discovered ideas of justice, equality, and a world guided by reason. A vision of leadership, not built on power, but on responsibility toward others. He taught me consistency, to stay committed to philosophy without distraction, to be generous without hesitation, to trust my friends, and to believe in the good. And most of all, to be honest and transparent, so that others always know where you stand. To face unexpected events with calm, whether it's pain, illness, or anything life throws at me. To carry myself with balance, with seriousness, without losing warmth. And to do everything properly, without complaining, without resistance. He was the kind of man people trusted, because what he said, he truly believed, and what he did with intention. He was never surprised by events, never rushed, but never slow either. Never overwhelmed, never discouraged, never out of place. He simply stayed steady, always ready to do good, to forgive, and to speak the truth. Not as someone who corrected himself constantly, but as someone who was already aligned within. No one felt inferior around him, and no one could honestly believe they were better than him. He was respected, but also easy to be around. And in my father, I saw something even deeper. A quiet strength, a consistency that never wavered once he made a decision. He had no need for recognition, no attachment to status or praise. He worked hard, listened carefully, and treated everyone fairly. He knew when to be strict and when to be flexible. He didn't demand attention from others and never made himself the center of things. And when something had to be paused, he would return to it later with the same focus as before. He took time to understand things fully, never rushing to conclusions, never satisfied with surface-level thinking. He valued his relationships, without clinging, without neglect. Always steady, always balanced. He remained calm in everything, thinking ahead, handling even small matters without noise or drama. He rejected flattery, and focused only on what truly mattered. He accepted criticism, even when it was harsh, without losing himself. He wasn't driven by superstition, nor by the need to please others. He lived simply, without chasing novelty, without excess. When comfort was available, he used it naturally. And when it wasn't, he didn't miss it. He never tried to appear intelligent or impressive. Grounded, someone who couldn't be manipulated and who didn't need validation. He respected true thinkers without judging others. He was pleasant, but never excessive. He took care of himself without obsession, without neglect. He valued skill in others and supported people in what they did best. He followed tradition without needing others to notice. He stayed consistent. In place, in action, in purpose. Even after hardship, he returned to his duties with clarity. He spoke little about private matters and acted with restraint in public life. Everything he did with fairness, not for recognition. He avoided excess in everything, in habits, in comfort, in appearance. Nothing about him was forced, nothing exaggerated. He moved through life calmly, clearly, without inner conflict. He knew how to live with little and how to live with abundance, without being changed by either. That balance, that strength, that self-mastery, that is what a complete and unshakable mind looks like. From the gods, I've received more than I can measure. A good family, good teachers, people who shaped me in the right way. And the chance, again and again, to avoid becoming someone worse. Because I know this, my nature could have taken me elsewhere if circumstances had been different. But somehow, things aligned in a way that kept me on the right path. I wasn't corrupted too early. I wasn't forced to grow before my time. And I learned that even in power, a man can live simply, without excess, without needing to display status, without becoming less capable because of it. I was given people who challenged me, who made me reflect, who made me better. And children, healthy, whole, a quiet blessing. I didn't excel in everything, and maybe that saved me, because I didn't get lost chasing things that didn't matter. Instead, I stayed close to what was essential. I had the chance to learn from the right people, to think deeply about what it means to live according to nature. And if I haven't fully reached that life yet, it's not because I couldn't. It's because I didn't always listen closely enough. Still, my body endured, my path held. I recovered. I had time with my mother, longer than expected. And whenever I wanted to help someone, I was able to. I never lacked what was necessary to do good. I was given a partner, loyal, sincere, present, and people I could trust, to guide those who depended on me. Even in dreams, I found guidance. And when I turned to philosophy, I didn't lose myself in complexity. I stayed grounded, focused on what truly matters. All of this, none of it happened by accident. Now remind yourself of this. Today, you will meet people who are difficult. People who are selfish, ungrateful, deceptive, or unaware. But they act this way because they don't understand what is truly good. And you do. So they cannot truly harm you. And you have no reason to hate them. Because at a deeper level, you are connected. You were made to work together, like parts of the same body. To go against each other is to go against your nature. So why resist? What are you really fighting? What you are is simple. A body, a breath, and something more. Your mind. Your ability to think, to choose, to direct yourself. Don't let it be controlled. Don't let it be pulled by impulses or fears of what's coming. You're running out of time. So focus on what matters. Everything that happens comes from a larger order. Call it nature, call it fate, call it something beyond you. But nothing is random. Everything serves the whole, and you are part of that whole. So whatever happens is not against you. It belongs. Let this be enough. Stop searching endlessly. Stop distracting yourself. Live clearly, live simply, and when the time comes, leave this life without resistance, without regret, and in peace. If this way of thinking speaks to you, then take a moment to stay with it. You can support this work simply by subscribing or leaving a like. It helps this kind of content reach the right people. And if something here resonated with you, Feel free to share your thoughts. I read every comment. You'll find the original work used for this video in the description below. And the next part, Book 2, will be coming soon. Until then, take care of your mind